Hi everyone, I'm Morgen Kawaguchi. I'm the owner and the primary clinician at OWN Physical Therapy and Pilates located in Asheville, North Carolina. Today we're going to go through a series of movements, Pilates-based movements, to address side body strength and coordination between opposite arm and opposite leg, really pulling in those oblique slings. Why would we do that? It's a good question. So we would do that because so many of the activities that so many of us want to participate in require either an extended time on one leg, we call it single limb stance or single limb support, or require elongating or reaching with our arms. So oftentimes what that would look like if you were seeing me for physical therapy would be maybe I had surgery on my hip to get the joint cleaned up, or maybe I had a total hip replacement. So that is when we can really talk to the muscles that pair with all of the muscles around that hip. So when they do that surgery, they cut through glute medius and glute max if they do a posterior approach. And so that's when we need to come to the other side and help utilize those muscles and really strengthen those muscles, latissimus, oblique from that opposite side, so that these muscles can support these muscles as they continue to heal from injury or surgical insult. So when we talk about Pilates, oftentimes you'll see lots of props, lots of big fancy equipment. Most of the exercises that I'm going to be going through with you on this series is going to be with the mat. I feel like this is the most accessible way to do Pilates in the home. Not everyone has a big reformer, a chair, or a barrel. So oftentimes using the mat is kind of our go-to. If you have a very bony back like I do, you'll want to get some extra cushion underneath your mat. I have just a yoga blanket under mine, and then there's this nice thick pile carpet as well. And then this is just like a thin yoga mat. You can always look at investing with a thicker Pilates mat. Those are always nice. They're very versatile, but I think the majority of us have something like this yoga mat already at the house, or we have blankets or beach towels already at the house. So go ahead and grab those. Now, when you also think about home-based Pilates or Pilates on the mat, there's lots of other props that we can use as well. So you'll see just off to the side here, I've got my magic circle, which was one of the props that was developed by Joseph Pilates way back in the beginnings of him creating this movement series. And then I also utilize a deflated over ball. Now this is just a 9-inch ball. You can get these off of Amazon or your local sports store. They're really nice. They're very versatile. You can make it as big if you want really a lot of stability challenge. These are nice for my athletes. Or you can deflate it all the way and give yourself just a slight challenge, or bring the ground up to you. Oftentimes that's how I use it, is having my clients move away from the ball. The other nice piece of equipment that most everyone has in their homes is a towel, just a hand towel. You can use just the ones that you would buy for your bathroom, or you can use a kitchen towel. Lots of versatility here, okay? So these are often used as either a source of finding some nice opening in the front or in the back, depending on how we want to use it, or again, bringing the ground up to our clients and really giving them that feeling of where they're supposed to be working, where they're supposed to be pressing into or imprinting, if you will. So yeah, really nice to have those three pieces. Magic circle runs about $30. The Pilates ball, the 9-inch over ball, maybe 15. I'd have to go back and check. They're not super expensive, and they don't take up a lot of space. So, all right. So from here, I'm going to have you just go ahead and start working into an all-fours position. We call this quadruped, so if you hear me say that, that's one way. If you have difficulty weight bearing through one limb, you can always go tripod, or we can talk about other different supports for you, okay? So let's make our way here onto all fours. If you feel like you have some wrist stuff going on that you cannot have this great of a bend, you can always look at rolling up the edge of your mat and creating like a little ledge and support for your wrists here. So it's not quite that 90 degrees, it's still bent though, okay? Or another option would be soft fists. That's another nice way, and you'll also get some extra space. When I look at doing like some openers for my feet or for my back, oftentimes it's a nice way to pull in your lats. I always have to cheat up and find some extra space. I always thought my arms were shorter, but turns out my lats were kind of weak. So from here, whichever hand position you need, oh, you know, the other thing you could do is your hand towel. Same thing, make a nice little ledge there, however you need to, okay? So we're just gonna go into some nice easy cat-cow. You can just relax the top of your feet into your mat, and then from here, just take a nice big breath in, and exhale. Really let your shoulder blades come on your back. Open those collarbones, and let your head come up. And drop your tailbone, drop your head. Let your mid-back rise right on up towards the ceiling. And let everything come down. Open those collarbones, tailbone goes up. And tuck everything back in. And exhale. And inhale. This time we're going to do an articulated cat-cow. So you're going to tuck your tailbone in first. You're going to feel like you're on a bit of a roller coaster. And vertebra by vertebra, you're going to let everything come up into that cat position. Head is the last thing. And let your head come up. Shoulder blades round around the rib cage. Tailbone is the last thing up. And tuck the tailbone. Really, really work, 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 work. Make that as slow as you can as you're looking for extra space between each little vertebra. Now be sure, don't let the next vertebra go until the one right before it is right where you want it to be. And last time, looking up. Let your collarbones open and tailbones last. Good. Find that nice neutral spine. And then from here, we're going to take your right leg and let it come up behind you and back in. Just stay with your right leg here. Really drawing your belly button towards your spine, keeping your shoulder blades nice and open. And up. And then from here, let your left fingertips kind of rest on your mat. And nice and easy, let your arm go up and float back in. Up. Really press into the top of your left foot if you're feeling really unstable here. You can find some extra stability there. On this next one, elbow comes all the way in towards that knee. So you'll get some diagonal patterning, and that is okay. You may feel your spine needs to flex a little bit. Totally fine. All the while drawing your belly button into your spine. On this last one, really reach, reach, reach all the way through your foot and all the way through your hand. And exhale back down. All right. From here, we're going to let that left leg go up behind. Make sure your head's in line. It's easy for me to let that neck drop. Don't be like me. All right. Float those right fingers and really kick your right foot into your mat to find some stability as that right arm goes. Good. And if you feel like you need to pause there, do it. Find that stability. On this next one, pull that right elbow into the left knee and then right back up. Good. Excellent. Press that right foot into the mat. One more. And reach right arm out. Left foot out. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, back down. Open those knees. Let your hips come back onto your heels. And because we were so much on those hands, let them come around, grab your heels, and just rest for a second. Good. All right, get those hands right back out in front of you. And bring your knees together just a little bit. You don't want them touching though. So from here, I'm going to have you pull your toes underneath that foot. And we are just going to hover these knees. Really drawing the belly button towards the spine and dropping the shoulder blades down the back. Remember our nice Pilates breath. Deep into the belly button on the exhale. Inhale into the back of the ribs. And let those knees come back down and come back into child's pose. Let those hands recover just a little bit. Excellent. Okay, from here, we're gonna do that same knee hover. We're gonna add some bear walks, okay? So opposite hand, just walking forward and backward on the mat. Really working those oblique slings, right? And looking for stability as we go through this. Last one, forward. And then come back to neutral. And keep those knees up. Really widen those collarbones. And let them drop. Open up those knees nice and wide. Hips back towards the heels. Grab those heels. Keep the collarbones wide. Don't let everything collapse. Keep them wide. It's a bit of an active rest, if you will. Good. All right. From here, we are going to come right up back into our quadruped position, and then we're going to work out into a plank. So really walk those toes back a little bit, widen those collarbones, belly button towards the spine, and heels go up. Widen everything. Pull your body up towards the top of your mat and back down. Back. You really want to feel like your armpits are coming down towards the tops of your pelvis. Good. Let those knees come back in. Good. Excellent. Nice. Stretch everything out. We are still preparing our body for movement, so really give yourself the time and space to do this. If you don't, it can result in injury. Nobody wants that. We're doing this as a nice cross train or to carry you into your own Pilates practice. Okay, so from here, we're gonna go right into some side body series or side leg series. Everyone calls it something different. I think it depends on which school of Pilates training you come through. So for me, I'm gonna start on my left side. You wanna line your trunk up with the back of your mat. There's 3 different arm positions that you can do for these. You can start with a beginner position all the way flat, or you can come into an intermediate position with your other hand here in front of your chest as a little kickstand, and then you'd come here. The cue here will always be, if you choose this one, to pull this armpit to the top of the pelvis, okay? The more advanced position would be, instead of having the kickstand, it comes right up behind the head. So you get to choose. You get to make this as hard or as easy as you want to. You're gonna get out of it what you put into it. Okay, so from here, make sure your hips are back to the back of your mat. Feet are at the opposite front corner, okay? And we're gonna go into an out-toed position. You can probably already feel that. We're working some stuff deep in the hips, okay? If it's too much and if it feels crampy, please feel free to go parallel, okay? I really like the difference because I'm never in this position, and this is a nice place for me to go, okay? So from here, pulling this armpit to the top of my pelvis. Ooh, you can feel that kicking on latissimus on that side, okay? From here, big breath in, and leg goes up. It's gonna come down it behind it a little bit because I want you to think about keeping that leg nice and long as it goes up and down. It's on the angle. It's not coming straight up towards the ceiling. Some people will think it does. Just the anatomy of the hip doesn't really allow for that. Now, you shouldn't be bowing here when you go up. You want to be nice and stable, keeping this on, right? One more. Good. From here, we go parallel. I'm going to drop the side of the foot onto your mat. We're going to raise the top leg so that it is perpendicular with the floor, and that just turns on all that lateral hip motion. Flex the foot, and we're going to do a pulsing breath. So, and then point as it comes back behind you. Flex. We don't want a lot of movement in the trunk here. Really keep pressing into that nice stable foot. One more. And then from here, we're going to go right into bicycle. So it comes forward. It's going to pick that pedal up. And when it gets past the plane of the body, that is when you bend the knee, pull the knee forward, and extend. Pick up the pedal, bend, come forward. And again, you get to decide what you're doing here. Make sure if you're in the intermediate or advanced position, you are pulling that armpit to the top of the hip. In Pilates, anytime you have a sweeping motion, that would be your exhale. So file that away. Last one. Good. So we're going to come back here. We're going to bend the knee, pull it forward, and then extend. We're just reversing it. Is that what we did? Is that what we did? Am I completely screwing up? I am. You're totally going to reverse it. I told you wrong. So keep it straight. Yeah. Yeah, pull it forward straight. Bend and pull the knee back. Excuse me. There we go. And one more. Good. Since we're on this side, we're going to go right into banana. So this is what we call it. I think other instructors may call it something different. Again, I think it depends on from what training group you came through. So, because this is not a classic Pilates activity. So, from here, you want to think about lifting both legs up together off of the ground, okay? And then letting them come back down. Do that again. Really hold tight here so that you don't get a lot of wiggle back and forth. And again. Good. And then the arms go. So you're just going to lift that arm and then come on down. One more. Up and down. From here, everything goes. Really pull that belly button towards the spine and reach for this outside ankle. Reach and then come down. Good. Do it again. Up and down. Good. And up and stay up. Are we going to go down a little? Up a little. Down a little. Up a little. Keep going. Good. Woo. Excellent. Roll onto your belly. You're going to stack your hands right up underneath your forehead. From here, legs go as wide as the mat. I want you to think about pressing your pubic bone into the mat. That's going to turn on all of those deep abdominal muscles that we want to be on the entire time to protect the back. From here, open your shoulder blades. Broaden your collarbones by dropping your shoulder blades. And then from here, lift your feet up off of the mat. Again, keeping that pressure into your pubic bone. We're going to bring the heels together. 1 and open, 2 and open, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. And then from here, you can just roll over to your other side. I'm going to switch though, so that you can still see me. No one wants to look at my back side. So from here, you want to get your top part lined up with the back of your mat. Again, choose your arm position. This is going to be the beginner, intermediate. Remember the rule with intermediate and advanced. Really pull that armpit down to the tops of the pelvic bone. And then we're going to go toes out, so that bottom foot, just the toes are going to be touching, not the entire outside of the blade, okay? Heels together. I'm going to use a bit of a kickstand here. And then that leg, top leg just goes up as it reaches away from the body, okay? You are pulling in abdominally, but the limbs go long, okay? It's kind of Pilates at its core right there, right? Pulling in here, armpit down towards the top of the hip, leg goes up. Excellent. Good. And again, that leg is out at an angle. It's not up, going straight up towards the ceiling, okay? Good. All right, from here, blade comes down to the mat, armpit still coming down towards the pelvis. Lift that top leg so it's right in line with the hip joint, okay? Perpendicular to the floor. And flexing the foot, it goes, and then pulling it down behind you. And flex and pulling it down. One more. From here, we'll go right into bicycle. Pull that leg forward and sweep it back behind you. Once it gets back there, bend, pull the knee up and extend. Sweep, bend, knee comes up, extend. One more. All right, straight leg comes forward, bend, bend, and extend, right? You're not gonna let me lift that one down, are ya? Good. And I expect you to hold me to it, right? Good. Good. Last one. All right. Drop that arm down towards you can pull your legs back in line with the plane of the body. From here, just lift both legs. We're going to go right into banana. Let that come up. Do one more of those. Squeeze those heels together. Draw the belly button toward the spine. It's going to keep you from being quite as rocky. Now, arms go up, up and down, up and down, up and down. Everything goes. Whee! Reach reach towards that heel. Good. And up. Really draw the belly button towards the spine. Good. And one more, and we stay up, hold it, reach towards those heels, and down a little. Up a little, down a little. Up a little, down a little. Up and hold. Really squeeze here, and down. Good. Let's roll onto our bellies again. Stack those hands right under the forehead. Legs go as wide as the mat. Press the pubic bone into the mat and lift the feet up off the mat. Heels together and open. 2, 3. Open those collarbones. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Whew. Nice work. Okay. Now we're going to come into some kneeling series. This is a really fun way to work those oblique slings in a totally different way and really fire up glute medius. You'll feel it within the first 2 to 3 reps of these. So know that if you can only do 3, 4, 5 reps, great. That's what you need to do. We're going to go for the full 8 today, okay? So for the kneeling sidekick series, we're going to come up nice and tall into a kneeling position. Arms go right out to the side. I'm going to go on down to my left arm first, because I feel like I just worked to this side really well. So here we go. So that hand just meets the floor, just like so. This top hand comes right behind the head, okay? Now, a couple things with the hip that you need to be paying attention to here. We want to think about keeping that bottom hip always coming towards me, okay? Always coming more in line. If it's going to want to do this because it wants to use your abdominals for stability. And here, I really want you to target glute medius. He runs right along the side of the pelvis. Okay, so from here, that bottom hip stays forward as you lift and down. 2, 3. I already feel it if it makes you feel better. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Hold it up. Circles 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good job. Come on up. Excellent. We're going to go right on down to the other side. Same thing with that hip. Make sure that it's coming forward. It's really going to fire up the glutes. I know. But we all need it, right? So from here, that top hand is right behind the head as it goes up. 2, 3. Keep it coming forward. 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Hold it here. Circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Woo! Nice work. You should have felt some really nice burn right through the tops, the sides of that glute. That is glute medius all day long. So speaking of really doing a good burnout for glute medius and the lats, we're going to move into some side plank series, okay? So from here, I'm going to have you find your way down onto your left side, or whatever the opposite side was that you just did, because we're going to really work the bottom one again, okay? So, a couple of tricks for plank and side plank. If you are doing a movement series where you've just come from plank, you can always let the blades of the feet fall down. It is way, way stable, and that might feel really, really good. Just know that you're not going to get that firing up through glute medius that you would with feet stacked, okay? So file that away for all of you runners, all of you skiers, cyclists, mountain bikers, especially mountain bikers, since they have a tendency to want to do, they have to just move the bike in a different manner. So, yeah. Now, for this first one, we're going to be doing star. So we want that elbow right underneath the shoulder. We don't want it up here. We definitely don't want it up too close to our bodies. So come on up. And if this feels too easy, come back down and go into stacked feet, okay? So we're gonna stay here and let it drop down. And up, and let that hip drop down. And up, hip down. Belly button in towards the spine the whole time. Now stay up, stay here, lift and down. 2 more, lift and down. Last one. Yes, 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 you did it. Good job. All right, stay on this side as we move right on into a side twist. So this one you're gonna wanna be on a full extended elbow because we need some space in here. Similar to thread the needle in yoga, but it's not. So when we do thread the needle in yoga, you're getting just as far under there as you possibly can. That's not what we're doing with this one. We are keeping the pelvis nice and stable, belly button nice and tight, and we're just having the thoracic spine move. Again, always think about keeping that bottom hip pulling towards me. And up, last one. And up, good. All right, from here, we're gonna work mermaid a little bit. So mermaid's a really nice kind of fundamental Pilates exercise as well. Really takes into account the obliques, okay? So from here, I like to have my feet staggered here. I don't like them stacked on this one because I get such big amount of motion. I want to be as stable as I can, especially since I'm on an extended elbow. I'm just higher. The risk of falling is just greater. So from here, let the hip drop and come back up, 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 up. Create a rainbow and down and create a rainbow and down and a rainbow. 2 more. 1 more. Good. Excellent. Now, from here, now that we know this side body is on, we're gonna go right into seated twist, okay? So for this one, you wanna think about, this is the big, lots of movement that you'll see. A lot of people will do it on the reformer, and it's absolutely gorgeous on the reformer. So from here, you want your feet stacked just like so, almost in a hook lying position, but in a seated position. So we want to have the arm out just a little bit. Again, we need some space here because we're going to be diving this arm through and reaching for this opposite leg, okay? So hand open and on the lower leg. Take a big breath in and let the hips come up towards the sky, and then that left leg is floating, right arm is reaching towards the left leg. And come on down. Do it again. Up. Up. Good. 1 more. Stay here. And lift. Down. Lift. Lift. Good. Excellent work. Let's do all of that on the other side. Okay. So, first of all, we're going to do our side plank star. Again, remember, if you're here and staggered, you're not going to get as much firing up into glute medius. All of the research I've seen has the most bang for your buck for glute medius is side plank with feet stacked and at the elbow, okay? All right, so from here, we're going to come up and down, up and down. Keep going. 4. Stay here. Star, star, star. Good, and come on down. See, you did it. Good work. So, I like to stagger my feet on this one. We're gonna need a little bit of space. We're gonna go right into that twist, okay? So remember, this is thread the needle, but the pelvis doesn't move, okay? So come up tall. Pelvis stays still as you thread that arm right through. Think about driving that bottom pelvis towards me. And then come up. And come up. And up. Through. And up. Good. And then come on down. Gonna go right into mermaid. Again, I like to have my feet staggered for this one because I'm on an extended elbow, okay? An extended elbow with a little secret flex, right? A little secret bend. Okay, so we're here and then up, rainbow. Drop those hips a little and then up. Good. And up. One more. Up. Good. All right. We're going to go right into our seated twist. Just one of my favorites. I had an instructor one time tell me that this was one of the most motorically intensive exercises she ever taught. I'm just sitting here thinking about all the things she's probably taught through the years. Like, great, I'm getting this on like day 2. Wonderful. So we want to find some nice space. Remember, we want to have enough room for the hips to pike up nice and tall. So from here, left hand is open, palm is open, right on the lower leg. Big inhale. Exhale, hips go up as we reach through. And then come on back down. And big inhale. And exhale, go through. And come on down. One more, we're gonna stay up there. Big. And then we're gonna 1, 2, and 3. Excellent. Very good work. All of those exercises are going to address lateral stability, especially for single limb stance tasks. So let's finish up with just some nice easy push-ups that are gonna feel like gravy compared to some of the stuff we've already done. So come on back down. You're gonna get into a long quadruped here and come up onto the toes, drag the body forward, and then let the elbows come in nice and narrow and up tall. Now, right foot comes up, narrow and down. Left foot up, narrow, and down. Good. And then one last one, drag the body forward, and right back up. Excellent. Well, I hope that you're able to do these exercises and find some really nice stability on your lateral chain for either side. And if you've had any aches and pains with doing any of these, please reach out to either myself or your local physical therapist, and we'll work through all of those things with you. All right, again, be sure to practice your own Pilates practice every day. Thanks.